Absolute submission.
Now take your ass on down to Oshag Hennessy's office right now and tell him exactly what you did.
Who?
Oshag Hennessy.
Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Get out of my goddamn classroom before I break my foot off in your ass. Insubordinate and churlish.
Welcome back to Terrible Death Battle Ideas, and as I said in my last video, I was going to cover the other bad death battles involving Pokemon characters that I did not address in the other ones. So last time we talked about Ash versus Yugi, and then before that we talked about Dawn versus Lucy and Red versus Jotaro. Well, now we're going to cover one that I have mentioned before. I also feel that my last rant video probably wasn't as intense or maybe entertaining as these usually tend to be because I didn't really fly off the handle like I normally do. So I'm going to do a rant on this one as well and see if this one is a little bit more like what you all expect from me. So let's not waste any time because I've got something to say about this matchup, because this is one of those matchups that fucks me up on like a moral level. So what we have here is Lusamine versus whatever the hell the name of the cunt is from Kill la Kill. I'm not even gonna bother to remember her name because she doesn't deserve it. Because this, let's just get the obvious out of the way because you already know what I'm gonna say. This is yet another garbage, worthless mirror matchup. I don't know how many times I have to hammer this point home until it gets into people's heads. If you all are sick and tired of me talking about mirror matchups, and I have had people say, why do you just call everything a mirror matchup? Because almost every single death battle idea I see, especially the ones that come from the death battle wiki, it's always the same shit, always a mirror matchup. Stop coming up with mirror matchups, and then I won't have to keep calling these things out as mirror matchups. So what we have here is, oh, let's have a battle of the evil mothers and blah, blah, blah. I've already seen the memes, too, of both of these women holding world's greatest mom mugs. That's really all you have here, and that is an utterly retarded reason to have two characters fight each other, okay? It's somewhat the reverse of what gave us Asura versus Kratos, is, oh, let's have a battle of the dads and blah, blah, blah. That's just stupid. That is not a compelling enough reason to have these two fight each other. And on top of that, there's an even bigger issue here. And I'm not going to reiterate too many of the same points from the previous videos, because I've already reiterated the point of, to set this up as Lusamine versus the Kill la Kill mom is disingenuous as fuck, because we know that Lusamine is not going to be doing any fighting. Now, in this case, it's slightly different, because just like with Red versus Jotaro, we actually do have a Pokemon character being put up against a character that actually can fight. Here's the problem, though. That makes it all the more stupid because Lusamine doesn't do any fighting of her own. All she does is rely on her Pokemon, and even her Ultra Beast powers are pointless to bring up because it's not like she uses them in any meaningful way. Even when Lusamine goes into her little Ultra Beast form, or whatever the fuck that shit was, she still uses her Pokemon to fight you. So her Pokemon are going to be doing all the fighting for her, so already this fight is stupid and falls apart in that department. And I'm so sick and tired of people trying to say that, oh, this Pokemon battle is going to be Red versus this character, Lusamine versus this character, Dawn versus this character. It's not. Pokemon trainers are not warriors. I don't know how many times I have to get this point across. But without reiterating that, let's get into the thing that really just pisses me off about this death battle. So the whole gimmick with this one is, oh, it's a battle of the terrible mothers. Well, let's see here. What we have here on the side of Kill la Kill is a mother, and yes, before anybody says anything, I'm fully aware that this character is a villain. It doesn't make the things that she does any less despicable, but I digress. She is a character that literally rapes and molests her own daughters and lusts after her daughters in a sexual way. While I am not super familiar with Kill la Kill, I have not watched the anime, and I never will because it's smut, garbage, gooner bait, and not worth my time, but I have seen the clips of this woman raping her own daughters. Is that what you want to bring to Death Battle? Death Battle fan base? Is that really what you want? You want to fucking go there? You want to bring fucking incestuous rapists onto Death Battle? Not only that, but you want to insinuate that there are connections between these two characters. A character from what is essentially just a hentai that's in denial about what it is versus Pokemon. You want to say that this incestuous rapist woman has any connections or anything in common with a fucking Pokemon character? I cannot stress this enough. A Pokemon character. Yes, I am fully aware that as a Pokemon fan, or I should say an ex-Pokemon fan now, as a Pokemon fan, I'm fully aware that yes, the Pokemon universe does have some dark lore. Yes, I am aware that there are some Pokemon characters that have done some messed up stuff. However, for all intents and purposes, Pokemon is a series mostly geared towards and made for kids, and Pokemon rarely ever goes into that super dark territory. Especially when it comes to the sexual stuff, Pokemon usually stays away from that and only really insinuates it. So it's not even just that you want to say that, oh, well, they're bad mothers, and some people have tried to justify this matchup by saying, well, Lusamine tried to murder her own kids. Are you really going to say that, oh, well, Lusamine tried to kill her own kids, which actually played Sun and Moon? I don't even remember Lusamine trying to kill Lily or her brother, but even if that was the case, you really want to compare an attempted murder that didn't actually happen to a woman that actually did rape and molest her own daughters, like that actually freaking happened? Do you really want to compare that? Not only that, but to compare Kill la Kill to Pokemon and suggest that there's any kind of connections is bullshit on so many levels, because like I said, Kill la Kill is a smut gooner anime that is basically just a hentai that doesn't want to admit the fact that it's a hentai, and then you've got Pokemon. Like, that is just so fucking insulting. This would be the equivalent of having a fucking character from Boku no Pico show up on Death Battle. It is insulting. If you're going to do something stupid and retarded like this, why wouldn't you have a character from Kill la Kill fight a character from High School DxD or some retarded gooner bait anime like High School DxD, SNQ, or some other stupid, useless, horny pervert anime? Because this is just stupid. And yes, I am fully aware that Death Battle did have Ryoko fight Shadow the Hedgehog, and guess what? That was equally as fucking stupid, and I'm pretty sure I talked about how dumb that idea was. And that Death Battle was so stupid, I completely skipped that Death Battle, and I still have not watched it to this day, and I don't ever plan to, because why should I? Why are we taking a fucking kids anime and putting it up against a fucking smutty, retarded hentai anime? And I don't care what any fucking Kill la Kill fan tries to tell me. Kill la Kill is a fucking hentai that is in denial about the fact that it is a hentai, and you cannot tell me otherwise. And there's nothing to salvage from this. It's just stupid. Dumb mirror matchup, worthless. The fight falls apart because you have one character that fights and another character that absolutely does not fight whatsoever and would be dependent upon her Pokemon to fight. So this is stupid. Just like the same problems with Ash versus Yugi. Red versus Jotaro, Dawn versus Lucy, and the next episodes I will most likely cover, because this is not even the last stupid death battle idea I have seen involving a Pokemon character, but this is far and away the most fucked up one I have encountered. And yes, I am aware that Death Battle has covered very dark series before, like Berserk, and I'm not saying I'm against having morally questionable characters on Death Battle. I fully understand that these are villains. However, you have to really consider what it is that you are asking for. Because it's not just the incestuous rape that puts a bad taste in your mouth when it comes to this death battle, but it's also the fact of, again, you've got a horny gooner bait anime versus anime and video game series that is primarily targeted towards kids, regardless of the fact that, yes, there are gooners within the Pokemon fan base. However, they are not indicative of the market that Pokemon is trying to gear itself towards, whereas Kill la Kill makes it clear from the very beginning that they were trying to appeal to horny perverts when they made that anime. And the author was not even subtle about that. And I would go over the power scaling and explain why the compatibility for this matchup is most likely fucked. But even if this matchup had good compatibility, it would still be a garbage matchup. Not to mention, it's not even worth trying to do any power scaling for this, because Death Battle would have to be out of their fucking mind to do this matchup. And this is not even one of those matchups like Ash versus Yugi or Charizard versus Greymon, where you can say that it was a legitimately popular matchup that people wanted to see. Almost nobody gives a shit about this matchup. And this matchup mostly exists as a meme and as a very niche death battle that I don't even think Death Battle would even waste their time with. Now, I am aware of the fact that I do believe that there was a potential Death Battle cast episode about this, but I think I did a little bit of digging into it, and I think that that was mostly fake. That was just a thumbnail that somebody made to make it look like that actually happened. I don't even think Death Battle has even ever acknowledged the existence of this one, because like I've said before in previous videos, when I saw that Ash vs. Yugi was a Death Battle cast episode, I knew that that meant that Death Battle was going to do it, and now it's here. And at this point, it just keeps going downhill from here. Almost every all-time worst Death Battle or Death Battle idea seems to involve Pokemon for some reason. Because let's not forget about the abomination that was Charizard versus Greymon, and how that episode not only pissed people off, but it made people uncomfortable. And then Death Battle tried to salvage some goodwill from the Pokemon fan base by having Lucario defeat Renamon and Machamp defeat Goro, but by that point the damage was already done, and the Pokemon fan base is deeply distrusting of Death Battle going anywhere near these characters. And it's sad because I have seen discourse in my comment section and in my Discord where Pokemon fans, whenever Death Battle talks about doing Pokemon fans get a chill up their spine because they remembered the absolutely unnecessarily cruel and cold way in which they murdered Red for literally no reason, even though Red was not supposed to be a part of the fight. It was just supposed to be Charizard and Greymon. And this Death Battle could be so much more worse than that. And I have to ask you, anybody who requests this matchup, do you really truly want this matchup, or are you just trying to meme on it? Because the problem with mirror matchups is they are always one note. It's one-dimensional. There's nothing that you can really do with this matchup other than just have Lusamine sit on her ass and let all her Pokemon do the fighting for her. Can you even really claim that Lusamine, if she hypothetically won, that it was her victory? She doesn't do any actual fighting. It's a waste of fucking time. If you're gonna do a matchup like this, can you at least find a Pokemon character that actually does have some kind of powers? Like, how about N or something like that? Because Yes, there are some humans in the Pokemon world that have powers and actually do use them, like the psychic type trainers, but they never do that. It's only ever, oh, let's have Red fight somebody, even though Red's not a fighter. Let's have Ash and Dawn fight somebody, even though they're not fighters. This is just utterly ridiculous. And again, I cannot reiterate this enough. The death battle community, or at least people in the death battle community, are actively requesting for a incestuous rapist to fight a Pokemon character. And the whole logic behind it is they're bad mothers. Are you fucking kidding me? And as far as I'm concerned, Kill la Kill doesn't even have any place on Death Battle at all. So fuck this matchup, and fuck anybody who thinks that this matchup is a good idea. But let me know what you think about this matchup in the comments down below as we get closer to Ash versus Yugi. And if there are any other bad death battle ideas you want me to cover involving Pokemon characters, leave them in the comments down below, and I may cover it, because this, I'm just going to go all out, and I'll just cover every single death battle thing involving Pokemon that I can in preparation for Ash versus Yugi. And I'll see you guys around next time.
Sometimes I feel a voice in my head saying the world is dead and the state in my bed.